Score, the Central Catholic Rams on top. Before the game, we had a chance to talk with Gary Stouts, the coach of the Gresham Gophers. Ray Byers had a chance to talk to him, and we'll go to that right now.
Here now, head coach Gary Stouts of the Gresham Gophers. Coach, a big game tonight against the Central Catholic Rams. How do you assess it?
Well, they're all big games in this league, that's for sure. Central Catholic's an awful good football team. We're going to have to play well to beat them.
How do you plan on stopping that Matt Jones attack?
Well, we just got to play the defenses that have paid off for us up to this point, and just make sure we're tackling him, and we can't do anything special with him.
All right. Central Catholic is going to throw the ball as well, so they're going to try and spread you out all over the field. What have you done in practice this week to prepare for that?
Well, we know they're going to throw the ball. They've thrown the ball a little bit up down. I mean, it's not foreign to them, so we got to play. That's why we can't just gang up on Matt Jones. We got to play across the line and just play basic defenses against them.
And what kind of attack should we look for you from on the offense tonight?
Well, we're going to try to take what they give us and see what happens. Certainly you'll see the ball in number 43's hands a little bit.
Okay. Sounds very good. Thanks very much tonight, Coach. Good luck to you. Let's go back to the booth now with Eric and Jim.
Well, there you see the Gophers coming out, getting a little warmed up here for second half action. Eric Gessner and Jim Shealy with you.
Well, I think that, the things that we saw in the first half really are the things that probably are going to dictate the outcome of the ball game, and that is the defense. Tremendous defensive effort by both teams as far as the way that they have countered each other's strengths. Here we see the league standings again. We had a chance to talk about this a little earlier, but Central Catholic and Gresham, of course, on top, undefeated. That will change tonight. One of those teams, or if they should end up in a tie, something will happen there. So the logjam will be done there. Barlow and Columbia now. Columbia beat Barlow for Barlow's only loss, so if they should end up tied as they are right now, Columbia would get the nod because of the tiebreaker system, and they had defeated Barlow. David Douglas and Columbia meet in the final game of the season, so that's really going to be a big one in terms of playoff picture. There we see Centennial and Park Rose and Reynolds all with their single victories, and against Sandy winless so far this year, and they'll be going against Columbia this week. So the league standings. Now when we talk about the schedule, Eric, that really is a thing that's going to be influential in terms of how things come out down the road, because Central Catholic really doesn't have the good schedule that some of the other teams have. They have to play against the playoff teams, as we see that they have to play David Douglas, and then they're at Columbia and Barlow, and David Douglas is at home for them. So those all three are playoff teams, so they don't have an easy game, so to speak, against the lower division. Now we see Gresham, and Gresham really has two teams there, Reynolds and Sandy, who probably they should beat, based on past performances. Barlow's going to be a tough game. Barlow lost to Columbia 21-20, and they have started a resurgence, so they're going to be in the playoff picture and possibly in the league championship picture as the season wears on. So Gresham really has the better of the two schedules, and when we start looking at the other teams that have the playoff, that will be in the playoffs, Central Catholic is the one that has to play them all playoff teams from this point on out. So, they have a tough road to hoe, but boy, they are just getting stronger and stronger, it appears, as the season goes on. And I'm sure Gresham's going to try to do something to dispel that tonight, but Central definitely has been very, very tough when it gets down to crunch time. Gresham has not been in this situation a great deal, although they're certainly capable of mounting a tough performance, and offensively, we've seen it with Hamilton at that wide receiver. They can get the ball down the field pretty quickly. It's just a matter of finding a quarterback that can put it in his hands. So they can strike very quickly as well, besides, of course, the powerful running of John Sandstrom. So it's not over by any means. And both these defenses are great defenses, and they'll both bend a little bit, but it remains to be seen if either one of them break and allow the flood tides to roll.
Well, back deep for the Gresham Gophers is James Golden. And also Eric Nielsen, number 25, back deep. And the Rams getting set to kick off here with an 8-0 lead. And we start the second half of play. And Nielsen will take it from his 19-yard line up across the 20 to the 25, down to about the 28-yard line. He'll be stopped there, and the offensive unit of the Gophers will take over.
I'm sure that we'll see Gresham come out and try to establish that ground game that is so traditionally strong at Gresham High School. And Gary Stouse has done a fantastic job throughout the years with developing the tradition and everything that was here before he came, and he's certainly done a good job of developing and making that grow. And just a tremendous program. A lot of class in this program, year in and year out. So we'll see what they have to go in the second half.
Gophers on the 29-yard line. Fellow still in the quarterback. First play is a run up the middle, and this time they're at Flurry. So the Gophers mixing up their people a little bit.
I'm sure that it's a challenge for that offensive line of Gresham. They've done a pretty good job of firing out, but Central has certainly been able to penetrate any type of a pass play. Muir and some of those people up front have been able to put lots of pressure on the quarterbacks, both Weil and Fellows from Gresham.
Fellows again. This time it's to Sandstrom, who gets around and almost breaks the tackle, now gets dragged down at the 33-yard line. I thought for a minute he busted loose there, but nice play on the Rams to
well, that was number
down.
17, Steve Hunt, that linebacker who is keen on Sandstrom, and wherever Sandstrom goes, we'll see number 17 slide out there, and Steve Hunt does a good job. We see him scrape off here, slide out, and he's the one that just gets there and hangs on, as well as the defensive back coming up, number 9. That was from Central Catholic. Terry McKinney also came up to help out.
3rd down and 5 from the 34-yard line. 2 wide receivers now for the Gophers. Fellows fakes a handoff, looking deep to Nielsen, who's wide open, and now it's intercepted by the Rams. Nielsen was open for a sec there.
Well, he was open, and as you mentioned, he was open early, but number 82, Jeff Nisich, was back there and just played center field. Looked like somebody playing center field in a baseball game, just waiting for that fly ball to come down, and he stepped up. And we'll watch number 82 back here. Fellows rolls out. Again, you notice where he threw. He threw off his back foot again on that time, Eric, and I think that gave the ball a tendency to flutter up in the air.
So now the Rams, with the interception, have it 1st down and 10 from the 41-yard line. And a great defensive stop by Gresham there to hold him at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that was a heck of a stick by Lofton that time. Lofton was the guy that, number 32, that met the ball carrier right in the hole and stood him up and pushed him back. Watch it here. Watch number 32, Lofton, step up and just come to the party and drive the ball carrier back.
Some party. Glad I wasn't invited. 2nd down and 10. That's Olsen in at quarterback for the Rams. And it's handed off to Jones across the 40. Breaks a couple tackles across the 35, or 45, down to about the 49-yard line of the Gophers. So Jones with a nice 12-yard run that time, looks like.
Boy, it just looks like
He's quick.
With Sandstrom and Jones, it's just like a couple of heavyweight boxers just thumping away at each other. And one guy will get a little bit of an advantage, but the defense just hangs in there and just keeps coming. But Jones, watch him just string it out until he can find that seam. When he found that seam, he cut up field, able to break a couple of tackles and get good yardage on the play.
And once again, in case you missed it, coming into this ball game, Jones averaging 11.1 yards a carry. And Jones with the carry across the 50, and he gets stopped. Oh, nice play. Number 20 on the tackle, that's Mike Snook. And Snook just grabbed him around the waist and flung him down.
Boy, that is tough to do. Now, that time Jones probably strung it out just a little bit too long, but Snook did a great job of coming up and not allowing Jones to get that extra yard for the 1st down, so it's 4th and 1. We'll watch number 20 on the outside here. Snook does a good job just bouncing off and really avoiding blockers there, and just bouncing off and really avoiding blockers there, and just kind of sneaks in behind and grabs Jones around the waist and wrestles him down.
Ball from the 48-yard line of the Gophers. 4th down and 1. And I don't think they got it. I think Gresham stopped them on the line of scrimmage or just before it.
Well, there was a fumble. Jones never really did handle the pitch from Olsen that time. It was a quick pitch, and Olsen, it was a little bit of a low pitch, and Jones was not able to handle it. We'll watch on the replay here, and you can see that he actually fumbles the ball. It goes down. Gresham recovers, but they would have taken over anyway because they wouldn't have had enough for the 1st down.
So it's 1st down and 10 now from the 50-yard line. Let's see if the Gophers can do something with it here. Pitch to Sandstrom, over the 50 to the 45. And he's going to break loose. Well, he'll get stopped at the 20.
Boy, there's Sandstrom. He's just tougher than nails. I'll tell you, when they break out like that, they've got a lot of folks downfield, and Sandstrom just doing a great job of following his blocks. So one thing that he does extremely well is he just sets right in behind his blockers, and then when they finally make contact with the defense, he then makes a cut around the defensive player. Just a great run that time by Sandstrom of picking the hole and following his blockers.
So it's first down and 10. Ball on the 20 now for the Gophers. And Hamilton lined up wide. This time it's to number 28 of Gresham, and he gets a few yards. That's Eric Fleury. He gets up to about the 15-yard line.
Well, when it gets down to crunch time, you know, the two tough guys, the two stars really come out and shine. And Jones on the last possession for Central Catholic had a couple of nice runs, and we see Sandstrom now starting to loosen up and break loose. And, well, watch Sandstrom here on that run a minute ago. Great job. Watch him following behind there. And that was Fleury blocking for him, but Sandstrom does a nice job of sitting in there, and then when he finds that seam, he just busts out.
Again, Sandstrom going to the left this time, and he'll get hit at the line of scrimmage. And I don't think they got much on that.
Nice job that time by Central in terms of pursuit. The first person really didn't have an opportunity, but he took the blocker on. They had Fleury out in front blocking again, and Fleury got the block, but there were enough of other people from Central to come in behind him and make the tackle. Leading the way was number 7, Mike Olson, the quarterback, and he's got to be getting a little bit tired. He's going both ways, and he's been in on a lot of tackles tonight as well.
Hamilton and Nielsen both come out on this set, and Radke back in. So it's third down and 5.
I'm sure we'll probably see him go a little bit more power in this situation where they want to get some folks upfield in front and blocking for Sandstrom.
Radke lined up wide. And Fellows, oh, I think there was a busted play on that. I don't think that's what he wanted to do. He got turned around and met by a flurry of Rams there, and he gets knocked back for a loss.
Well, he was fortunate to get that play off. The referee was reaching into his pocket to throw the flag for a delay of game there. We have a chance to see the referee just in the side of your picture. He's reaching his pocket, and it looked like there was a little bit of confusion, and probably the reason that things were delayed so long for Gresham was that there wasn't total understanding there, and what happened was it just a busted play, as you said, Eric, and thrown for a loss.
Fourth down and 6, and they are going to go for it. 2 wide receivers now for the Gophers. And looking long and deep is Fellows, and Hamilton makes a grab in the end zone.
Boy, that was fantastic.
He
just
took the ball away from the defender and got it for a touchdown. Oh, my.
Well, number 9, Terry McKinney, had great position. He was there, he was playing it, but the one thing that coaches always tell you is go and get that ball at the highest point that you can get it. And Hamilton, of course, has excellent springs. He can get up in the air, and he's a fine receiver with good speed. And what he did is he just was able to get it at a higher point than McKinney, and he came back and took the ball away from McKinney and just made a fantastic catch in the end zone. So Hamilton is tough, and he can get down there, and he can get up in the air and really use his size extremely well.
All right, so it's 8-6 now. 2-point conversion try won't happen as Sandstrom gets tackled at about the 3-yard line.
Let's watch this touchdown. This is just a fantastic catch by Hamilton. The ball is just thrown out there, just laid out, and the defensive back is there. He actually has position, and then Hamilton steps in front, and because of his height, he's able to use it and catch the ball at a higher point than the defensive back and just takes it away. And just a great job by Hamilton that time. That's a big-time play. We've probably seeing one of the better receivers here in the league in Hamilton. He's ranked in the top 10 in receiving, but you know, Gresham doesn't throw the ball that much, so for him to be up there in receiving is really a compliment to him.
And there you see our score. The Rams on top, 8-6.
Well, by them going for 2, you know, Eric, they basically didn't have anything to lose because, you know, they're going to have to score again if they're going to win the ball game, and a chance to tie there. They really didn't lose that much, other than if they would have kicked it, they would have still been behind. So they had really nothing to lose going for 2 in that situation, and I'm sure that we'll see more of the Gresham offense moving up and down the field as the game goes on.
And the ball's kicked to about the 35-yard line, real short that time. Hamilton doing the kicking.
Well, I think what we talked about earlier, the opening kickoff, they want to keep that ball away from Jones on the kickoff because he is leading the league and averages about 33 yards every time he gets his hands on it on the kickoff. So they definitely were kicking away from him, and that time they kicked it down, and number 85 from Central, Brian White, caught the ball, and he touches ground with his knee. When you do that, the ball's dead automatically. So
The Rams take over on their own 35-yard line. First down and 10, 5:06 to go in the third quarter. Man in motion now. And it looked like a legal procedure there.
yeah, the left tackle kind of popped up before the ball was snapped, and of course, once their hand is on the ground, they cannot. The 5 interior linemen cannot move. So it was number 75 who moved his hand, and consequently resulted in an illegal procedure penalty.
So now the ball's on the 30. And it's first down and 15.
It'll be interesting to see whether Central Catholic comes back with any type of a short passing game. They've shown that they're capable of throwing that long pass and getting downfield, but they really haven't done anything to loosen those linebackers up and force them away from the line of scrimmage.
Olsen looking to throw, and he has a man open who bobbles it. Let's see. Are they going to call it good? Yeah, I guess they're going to mark it there. On the catch, it's number 32, looks like. 22. It's Tom Crino.
We'll watch him here now. Nice job. Olsen throws the ball. It's a little bit low. Crino goes down and catches the ball. Bobbles a little, as you mentioned, Eric, but he's able to concentrate and hang on to it. So they got some of that yardage back.
Second down and 8. And this time, oh, nice play on the defense. On the carry, that's Peter Langweber. And he got knocked back for a loss.
Well, that was Lofton who came in there, and Lofton just doing a super job at the linebacking position in there, and Lineweber didn't have an opportunity really to get started. Just as he got the handoff, he got stuck pretty well. So good job defensively, and Gresham is really pumped up. You know, obviously that touchdown gives them a little bit of inspiration. They realize that they can go and move the ball, and if the defense can just hold them, and they've got the momentum going their way.
Third down and 9. And the fake to Jones. Now Olsen will throw, and Lineweber gets across the 40-yard line to the 44.
Nice play in terms of the short passing game we talked about a little bit earlier. They've thrown 2 passes now, and both been completed. And what that's going to force Gresham to do is to take some of that pressure off of the running game. They're going to have to come out and they're going to have to cover those short zone areas with their linebacker. But that was a third down play, and so they're still faced with 4th and 4, and it looks like they're going to kick it away.
4th down and 3, and they are going to kick it away. It's a low snap, but the kick is good. Nielsen back, makes the catch, and gets tackled at about the 28-yard line.
No opportunity there whatsoever for Nielsen to do anything. He probably would have been better advised to maybe make a fair catch there, but he did a good job of concentrating, hanging on the ball, and absorbing a pretty good hit there when he caught the ball.
Remember, Nielsen had that punt go through his hands and eventually set up the Central Catholic score. All right, so the Gophers are going to take over on their own 29-yard line.
Well, we've got Weil now in a quarterback.
And Weil in a quarterback. He's number 16. And some movement on the front line. I think that's going to go against Gresham. Looks like they anticipated the snap count.
Well, that's something that you really have to coordinate when you have 2 quarterbacks that play as much as Coach Gary Stouts rotates in Weil and Fellows. So you have 2 people, and everyone kind of has their own cadence, their own beat that they march to, and as they call out signals, obviously each one does it a little bit differently, and so it's a tremendous adjustment for the linemen and for everyone involved on the offensive unit to adjust to the quarterback that's in there, because each time they have to go to a different cadence, and sometimes that may be a reason why we've seen so many procedure penalties against Gresham tonight.
And Weil fakes to hand off, and a little pass to Hamilton out in the flat, and gets maybe a yard on the play.
Kind of just a one-man screen. What they do is they ran 63, Brandon Guthrie out there from the tackle position. We'll see it here. He fakes the opposite side, reverse pivots, and then dumps it out, and got Guthrie 63 out there. And Guthrie unable to get a block on the defensive back, so Hamilton is taken down after about a 4 or 5 yard gain. So they got their penalty yardage back, but that's about it.
2nd down and 10. 1:45 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Devin Weil with a pitch to Sandstrom. And Sandstrom is going to get knocked back by a whole bunch of Central Catholic Rams. And everybody got in on the party that time.
Again, you know, the guy that we've talked about all evening long, number 17, Steve Hunt, is a guy who just is keen on Sandstrom, and he's in there leading the charge. But you're right, that time they had about 4 or 5 guys in on the tackle, and it was a good gang tackle, good team defense, good pursuit by Central Catholic. With the exception of the one long run that Sandstrom had earlier, as we see the action here. We see him coming up, number 81 leading the charge, and then 17 Hunt in there as well. 81 was Tim Faraday.
3rd down and 12. Pitch to Sandstrom.
Reverse.
To Nielsen on reverse, and Nielsen dropped it.
Looked like Central recovered, and again it's that guy, Hunt. Steve Hunt is in there again to make the recovery, and just a poor handoff that time between Sandstrom and Nielsen. They were not able to make connection. They had the reverse set up, and it looked like if we have an opportunity, yeah, we will on the replay here. We see Sandstrom coming out and just actually hits the hip of Nielsen and not able to stick it in his belly. And of course, that's something that a running back doesn't have an opportunity to do a lot, is to practice his handoff. And that time he stuck it on the hip rather than the belly, and it popped down the ground, and Steve Hunt from Central Catholic recovers.
This time it might cost him. The Rams on the 21-yard line of the Gophers. Olsen hands it off to Jones. It's down to the 21 line of scrimmage. Maybe he picked up a yard on that. We'll see where they spot it.
A little bit of a scissors action that time. They run the first back to the right side, and then they bring Jones back across on his tail end. We'll watch this as he does it. A little scissor action. Jackson goes one way and Jones comes the other, but a nice job, number 21 that time from Gresham, coming up to make the hit. That's James Golden.
So Jones gets a yard on the carry. 2nd down and 9 as time expires here in the 3rd quarter. Well, the Central Catholic Rams are on top by a score of 8-6. We'll be having 4th quarter action for you right after this. Away, Matt Jones ran right and was nailed at the line of scrimmage, so he doesn't get any yards on the carry. So it's 3rd down and 9, and the Gophers answering the call on defense, sir.
Well, they've really done it. They really toughened up here, and of course this whole second half now, they have been on defense twice, and both times they have just completely stifled Central Catholic, with one exception, a nice run by Jones, but they Central just not able to get going.
Also looking to throw, and he finds an open man.
Boy, that was a nice play. He hooked up. That was number 8 going down.
Mark Fuller.
Mark Fuller going down and hooking up at about 10-12 yards and doing a nice job of turning around, and then Olsen delivered that ball right on the money, put it right on the numbers, and Fuller does a great job. We'll watch it here, and gee whiz, Olsen comes back and he really zips the ball, gets the ball in there, and able to get a field. You notice that time, Eric, what we got to see on the replay was the fact that he was able to shift his weight forward and shift that weight towards the front foot rather than throwing off the back foot, as we've seen a lot of the quarterbacks do when they get a little bit of pressure. But Olsen did a great job delivering the ball that time.
So now the ball down the 3-yard line. It's to Jones, who gets hit down at about the 1-yard line and just short of the goal.
Boy, that time that was the full house tee. That was old-time football. That's what I used to play at Oregon State, when you see that full house tee like that. 2 tight ends and 3 backs lined up like that. And that time it was a quick pitch outside to Jones. And pretty good job defensively. It's pretty tough to stop him. And that time they got it down to the 1, so it's 2nd down and 1. And Gresham's got their work cut out for him right now.
Oregon State, huh? How long ago was that? Oh, never mind.
Back when the Beavers were the Giant Killers. So,
The Giant Killers.
yeah, that back in the good old days. Central takes a timeout here, and it's really critical. You know, it's important if they don't understand what's going on that they do take a timeout, as we see the two teams huddle up here, and coming out into the huddle is one of the offensive coaches, Ken Slack from Central Catholic, who's going to talk to them, make sure that they get all their assignments straight and they all know what's going on. And we see the Gresham Gophers there making sure and checking assignments and catching a breath of fresh air there. Sandstrom, the linebacker, who went over and talked to Coach, Gary Stouts. And we see here that quick pitch out to Jones. And boy, a good job of coming up. That was number 21 again, who's been in on a whole bunch of stuff tonight in terms of tackles. James Golden came up that time to make a good lick on Jones. But it's important here that Central not make any errors, that they don't get offside or the procedures or anything like that. They need to make sure and come in and run the play that they want to run, because a penalty here would really be crucial for them. We've got some problems down on the field. The referee's coming over to talk to Coach Gary Stouts. It looks like they're going to ask for people to move out of the end zone so that there's no interference or any problem that way, no distractions that way.
Looks like that Central Catholic crowd really grew since the game started, Jim. I don't remember there being that many people over there when this game started, do you?
Well, of course, with a game on Thursday night like this, because of the in-service day tomorrow for teachers, there's, you know, a lot of people that aren't playing tonight, so a lot of extra people here.
Everybody gets tied up at about the 1 yard line. Now it's going to be a touchdown.
Touchdown. I didn't see who.
I couldn't see it either.
Looked like just a quarterback sneak in that situation. And it looked like we might have one of the Gresham players overly zealous in his disputing of the call.
See if we can see who this is.
And it'd probably be an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, it's a keeper, Olson. Looks like he had it.
Yeah, it is. It's an unsportsmanlike conduct was called there on Gresham, so that will probably be assessed, and that would be half the distance, unless they choose to administer it on the kickoff.
So our score now is Central Catholic 14 and the Gresham Gophers 6.
Now this is an extremely crucial play right here, Eric, probably as important as anything that will happen in the next couple of minutes, and that is that the extra point. They must make this extra point, and that will put it out of one touchdown reach.
And it splits the uprights.
No, off to the right. He slipped when he put his plant foot down. The foot that stays on the ground that he pushes off of, referred to as a plant foot. And that time, when he put that plant foot down, we might have a chance to see this on the replay. He actually slid probably about a foot or so and lost his balance. Consequently, it's what the golfers refer to as a shank. He kind of shanks this off to the right. Watch his left foot now. As he puts that down, it actually slides about a foot, and he really doesn't get a good plant and just shanks it off to the right. So that's a crucial one, because that still leaves the door open for Gresham here. And of course, with the overtime situation in the Kansas plan, you know, the game is always in doubt. And here we see the 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty assessed against Gresham for their disputing the judgment of the official there on the touchdown run. So, you know, this is a situation where some things go through your mind as a coach. You might want to think about maybe an onside kick or something, because even if, as long as the ball goes 10 yards, you still have Gresham deep in their territory a little bit. So, you know, sometimes if you're going to try it, this isn't a bad place to do it.
Number 25, Eric Nielsen, has had a hard time handling the football, is back deep this time for the Gophers. And our score 14-6, 10-16 left to go here in the fourth quarter and the ball game. And the Rams getting set to kick here. And it's up. They're going to kick it right to him. It's going to bounce once and roll into the end zone, and Gresham will probably down it right there and take it on the 20. That's what they'll do.
Of course, in high school, once it breaks the plane of the goal line, it's an automatic touchback, so there's no threat like there is in college or pro ball for that ball bouncing around the end zone and the other team falling on it, because it is a live ball once it goes 10 yards, but if it does break the plane of the end zone, it's an automatic touchback. In fact, a person can't even run it out of there because it is a touchback.
First down and 10 from the 20 for the Gophers.
Well, Gresham has done a good job in terms of their passing attack tonight. They really probably surprised Central a little bit in terms of the ability of especially Hamilton to catch the ball, but they need to probably develop a short passing. They've only gone to Schulenberg once, and that was incomplete, so we'll see what happens here.
Radke and Hamilton out wide on the left side to Hamilton across the middle. Now Nielsen will make the catch. I thought Hamilton was going to get that, and Eric Nielsen came out of nowhere to make the snag.
Well, that's that short passing game. That's the one that Coach Gary Stouts realized that those linebackers and people are just keying on Sandstrom and the other running backs and people like Steve Hunt and that have done so well tonight containing the running game, and they're going to have to throw those short passes and try to do something to loosen up the linebackers a little bit. That's the type of play that they'll run. They'll run a back out of the backfield. They'll run their wing back out and try to throw that short pass.
Well, Sandstrom is in on this set, and it's a fake to Sandstrom, and now quarterback gets sacked for a loss. Oh no. Tough break. That's Fellows.
Boy, number 81, Tim Faraday, just came in there and just nailed him good that time.
It was a fake pitch to Sandstrom, and then Fellows went to roll out, and it just didn't happen.
They really don't have a lot of time. We'll see here on the replay. You see Faraday come in from the left side there. This is a play right before where Nielsen caught the short pass, and that's the type of play that they've got to do to loosen up those linebackers.
Third down and 10, and they need to get something going here. Quick pass over the middle, and Nielsen, the intended receiver. And I think Gresham thought maybe there would be pass interference on the play.
Pretty good job, really, by Hunt. It looked like it was pretty close in terms of the contact, and he was in position, and certainly he was going for the ball, and when the contact was made would be the only question, but pretty good job. Two linebackers. We'll watch here and see that ball over the middle. Looked like it was pretty good timing that time by Hunt in there to come break up the play. Nice defensive effort.
One man deep back for the Rams. That's number 3 deep is Scott Gilsdorf. He lets it roll, and Gresham will down it on about the 47-yard line. So the Rams will take over on offense. Our score 14-6.
Well, pretty equal here in the second half. You know, each team has scored once, and they haven't been able to convert, so it's 6-6 in the second half. And both of the teams really kind of trying to get back to their basic offensive attack and not able to really mount any great offensive attack, but still just slightly moving the ball, waiting for that crack in the dam. And neither team has been willing to bend much defensively tonight.
All right, handoff to Jones. Gets across the 45 and down at the 47.
Jones sweeping left.
Just about to the line of scrimmage.
Boy, Golden again coming up. He's done a great job of coming up from that defensive back spot and sliding out from the linebacker position and making the tackle. He's actually, whenever Jones has come his way, has really keyed on Jones and done a good job in terms of being the pitch man. He's playing the linebacking position, and he slides out, reads the pitch man, and we'll see him here. They get the ball out to Jones, and Golden just slides off, and also over there was number 74, Troy Fuller from Gresham to make the tackle.
Mike Olson rolls out the throw, and intercepted by number 33, Radke. It goes down the sidelines. He's going to score easily.
Great job. Excellent read that time, and Olson kind of hung the ball out there. Actually overthrew Jones, and it was tried to throw it into coverage that time as Jones was going out on the flat pattern. Threw the ball out, but a great job by Radke. A great read on the overthrow by Olson.
Gresham
over the head of Jones, and then Radke went right down the sideline, totally untouched. Here we'll see it on the replay. Just a great effort. See Olson come out. He's throwing for Jones, and he actually overthrows Jones. And Radke is covering the deeper receiver, and he's able to come off and take it all the way down the sideline.
Boy, this crowd has come alive here at Gresham. And now, as soon as Radke made it into the end zone, the coaches on the sideline were calling for a timeout right away.
Well, this is a critical situation, Eric, because now you've got 8 minutes to go. You're down by 2. Obviously, they've got nothing to lose by going for 2 points. If they don't make it, 1 point will do them no good right now. They've got to go for 2. So they're probably going to go with the play that they're most confident in. And, of course, Fellows done a pretty good job of throwing the ball tonight. You might see something out to Hamilton or swinging that back out. Oftentimes they have like a goal line pick play set up where you run the receiver to draw the defense away, and then maybe you'll run a back out underneath him. Of course, the guy that's always tough around the goal line is the leading scorer in the state, and that's John Sandstrom, who leads the state with 70 points. And he can smell that goal line and get it over there without a lot of effort. He's certainly capable of getting it in from any place.
Well, Hamilton is not in. He's on the sideline, so it won't be to him.
It's just power football here.
Power football is right. See if they can do it here. Fellows the quarterback. Pitch to Sandstrom. Crosses through, and he's in for the touchdown. We've got a new ball game as the score is tied 14-14.
That 3-point conversion is really an important one. Of course, that's the third one. The key to that particular thing is to watch Sandstrom now as he goes to the right, in behind his blockers. Watch him just kind of jog behind the blockers. Just waits, and then when he sees that seam, he jumps up there and cuts into the seam extremely quick. He just doesn't have.
Not much on the play. Hamilton out in the flat.
Boy, nice job by number 9 that time. Terry McKinney. He came up quick. That's the guy, of course, that Hamilton beat in the end zone, and so he's not forgetting that. He's coming up quick and good coverage on that. What they'd like to do is get that ball to Hamilton and have him have about 3 or 4 yards in order to use his quickness and strength and maneuverability to get on downfield, to get him the ball and then let him do some running on his own.
Sandstrom out, Nielsen back in, Hamilton and Radke lining up wide. And Fellows looking for either one of them, and he's going to get taken down for a loss.
Looks like there's a penalty on the play. It could either be a face mask or it might be a hold. We'll have to wait and see what it was.
It looks like a face mask.
It is a face mask. That's a fortunate break for Gresham, a tough break for Central because they really did a nice job. We'll see him come in there.
Yeah, he grabbed him pretty good there. Well, let's see where they place it now. There's the shot of the officials. The guys in the zebra suits.
The referee tonight is Greg Neisel, the umpire Bob Phillips, linesman is Scott Koopman, and the judge is Brett Young.
They're doing a fine job tonight too, by the way.
They really are. They haven't been a factor tonight. It's simply been a matter of 2 teams going out there and having at each other. That's the way. That's probably the biggest compliment you can give officials is the fact that they really haven't been noticed that much tonight, and they have done a very good job tonight.
So with the penalty, it's 2nd down and 6. Clock still running at 4:18 left to go in the ball game. And the Gophers looking to get something on the board here. And this time, Fellows throws a short pass to John Lofton this time.
Well, it looks like Lofton lost his footing. Again, they try that middle screen, which they've tried a couple times, and it really hasn't been too successful, but it was set up extremely well that time. He had blockers, could have gotten downfield, but unfortunately lost his footing right in the middle. And crucial time to lose his footing because he could have very easily picked up the first down, but he's left with about 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 it is. Big play right here. Uh-oh. Somebody jumped off. I think the line jumped off, and that must have been the quarterback's fault because everybody jumped at once.
Well, it looked like the wide receivers, and when you do it that way, when the quarterback backs up that quickly, obviously he's expecting the ball, but when it draws the defense off sides like that, that's a procedure penalty, and we'll see the quarterback actually pull out, and we see one of the linemen jump, and a couple of the receivers, and lots of folks bounce around. Sometimes when you see that happen, usually it's the center that didn't quite get to the same cadence as everyone else.
some of the Central Catholic Rams, if you get a shot of them, they're getting their crowds fired up. And there you see some of the Ram fans, and they are outnumbered tonight.
Well, Gresham tries to take a timeout, maybe to quiet it down a little bit or make sure that on this play, as crucial as it is, with 3:18 left and 3rd down and 9, they have got to convert here because Central is certainly capable, especially now using one of their timeouts. Central is capable of running a lot of time off the clock with their running game.
Okay, we're going to take a break here with a score 20-14. The Rams on top over the Gophers. We'll be back right after this. 20-14 our score. Trust me, babe. I love it.
Crucial 3rd down player. 3rd and 9 for Gresham.
3rd down and 9. Fellows looking to throw across the middle, and it hits the referee.
Well, that has to be credited to the tremendous pressure that was put on Fellows that time. At number 7 back there again. That's a quarterback, Mike Olson, who was coming to the party with Jason Fellows that time. We'll watch this, and a great pass defense by the Zebra here as well. Able to knock that ball down, but it would, in all fairness to the official, he was certainly short of anyone that would have been able to receive it. So the pass would have been incomplete regardless, but actually it could have been intercepted. Timeout for Central here, so a little bit of strategy. We see Gresham going for it. They really have to. With 3:14 to go, they're going to go for the ball, or go for the 1st down here. 3rd and 9 will probably look for one of a couple things, either that middle screen that we saw earlier, or we might look for one of the short passes on the outside. The third option that they probably have is, of course, to run a draw play or something like that, some type of deception. But you can bet that the Coach Binkowski is going out and telling his folks that defensively, they have got to all do their responsibility. This is not a time to gamble or anything like that. 9 yards is quite a bit to make up. And if they don't, or if they do their responsibilities and don't allow a hole to be created with someone gambling and going after something they're not supposed to, they should be able to hold Gresham here.
So Gresham thinking it over, along with the Rams.
A good chance to test that number 1 defense in the league. The number 1 defense, of course, being Central Catholic. Number 2 defense being Gresham. They've been in a real knockdown, drag-out one tonight. So 3:14 to go, and this probably has to be right now. Of course, every play gets crucial from here on out, but this one is definitely a crucial play for Gresham. They have to convert to keep their chances alive here.
4th down and 9. And the Ram fans are just about on their feet over on the sidelines. A lot of noise. Fellows drops back a pass and throws it as he gets hit.
Well, I tell you, that was Mike Olson, number 7 again, in there for the 2nd time, and he has just done an outstanding job defensively of putting pressure on the quarterback. And of course, he's a quarterback for Central Catholic, so he's got to be getting tired. He has put in just a tremendous effort. That has to be the key effort tonight, and he has done a great job. They run that extra linebacker in there in Olson, and boy, they put a lot of pressure. Now I'm sure that what we'll see is we'll just see a grinded out situation for Central Catholic, and Gresham will have to use all the timeouts that they've got left now to try to stop the clock.
1st down and 10 for the Rams. And Jones gets
Stop for no game.
down to the 33-yard line. Clock running down under the 3-minute mark now.
Of course, the main thing here, watch Jones cover up. He knows what the situation is, and when he gets in traffic, he just hangs onto that ball, covers up, and that's the main thing right now, is just keep control of the football and not fumble and keep the clock running. The clock is really what Central's playing against right now. In fact, there's a chance that from time to time they may get a delay of game penalty because they will take every last second that's accorded them.
So 2nd down and 10, and there it is, a delay of game penalty. And they'll march it back 5 yards.
Well, the one thing that does do, however, is stop the clock when you do get a delay of game. They use up every second, but it does stop the clock, and so they are going to have to pick up some yards. The one thing that you have to be careful when you're an offensive team like this with a lead in this situation is you have to keep your momentum going. You don't want to get so conservative and so concerned with trying to just run the play out that you allow that clock to stop and give the ball back to Gresham in fairly decent field position, because Gresham can score very, very quickly.
2nd down and 15. And it's handed out off the middle there. And nothing doing. So ball goes right back to the line of scrimmage. As the clock winds down, we're at 2:07 now.
Well, Gresham takes a timeout now. So they've got to be down to either none or one left, because they had to take one a little bit earlier. But with 2:03, 3rd down now. Central's got to put some offense together. They have got to do something offensively, because Gresham's going to get their hands on the football again. They're going to get an opportunity. You see that Central's just kind of hoping not to lose right now. They've got to go out and strike a blow and hope that they can play to win. They can't be opportunity of series of downs or going for 2 points. So it really is a kind of a crapshoot in terms of rolling the dice and waiting to see what happens. And you know, it's a real advantage actually to go second in this situation. Most people that win the toss will go second, so that if their defense has stopped the opposing team, then they can go ahead and go for the field goal. We'll see the last play of the game here, and Olson right up the middle there is nailed pretty well by number 36. That was Jason Samadurov. They came right up the middle and put a lot of pressure on Olson, and Gresham able to intercept.
Eric Nielsen, number 25, really beside himself, walking along in the sidelines. He had a problem with the punt return that let it get through his hands and ended up being a score. He had another problem with a fumble, and he had a chance to redeem himself there at the end of the ball game with the extra point and missed it. So now he's kind of pacing the sidelines. Right now, we're going to take a quick break with our score tied up 20-20. We'll be back right after this. Our score 20-20. Central Catholic and the Gresham Gophers going for it. Seen kind of a seesaw battle tonight. Lots of action, lots of crazy things happening on the field. And we're happy to bring it all to you here on Rogers Cable TV. And I don't know, this has to be our game of the year so far, huh, Jim?
Well, really, you know, without question, you see these two teams and the way that they're battling like this. It's unfortunate that they both can't go away with a win, but in high school football in Oregon now, there are no ties, and so consequently, somebody's going to go home and win or somebody a loser. But in this game, and I know it's kind of an old cliche, there is no loser here, because we've seen two extremely strong teams that are going to represent the Mountain Hood Conference probably without question in the playoffs, and their position is still in doubt, but they are definitely going to have at it here in a Kansas City overtime situation. And it looks like Gresham has won the toss, and they've allowed Central to go first. Central's going to go first.
Central Catholic.
So they're going to go first, and they'll have first crack at it. Now, this is the second week in a row that Central's been in overtime. Of course, they were in overtime last week when they played Lake Ridge in their non-conference game at Civic Stadium, and they ended up losing 10-7 in that overtime battle. So they are the only team that has experience right now in terms of an overtime game, but we'll see whether that took some starch out of them last week or whether that touchdown drive right at the end by Gresham took some starch out of them. That was really a well-conceived plan. It did a good job of coaching coming down the field. They did a good job, and can't say enough about Jason Fellows throwing the ball and getting it to his receivers. Of course, Hamilton, Schulenberg, all of them, as they came down the field, made the key catches that they had to make. Schulenberg made two of them. Of course, the touchdown was the big one that he made in the end zone. So,
and what a catch it was.
For a team that really is basically a running team, it's kind of interesting to see, the pass is really the thing that has brought Gresham back and really done the thing for him tonight as far as being in the ballgame and tying it here at the end. And I'm sure that Gary Stouts will tell you that they work on the pass a lot, but of course they're their strength is in the running game, but tonight it was very fortunate that they have the pass in their offensive package. They really have done a fine job in utilizing the passing offense tonight.
Well, 20-20 our score, and you might remember last year Gresham and Barlow were in an overtime situation at Mount Hood Community College, and Barlow ended up taking the ball first, and they ran it in for a score, kicked the extra point, same with Gresham, and they did it again, and once again Gresham did the same thing, ran it in, kicked for a score, and they're all even again. Well, on the third try, Barlow ran it in on 4 plays, kicked the extra point, and Gresham decided they had had enough of that. They were going to go for the 2-point conversion, and the quarterback threw it just over the hands and off the fingertips of the receiver, fully outstretched, and Barlow went away for the victory. Tough luck for Gresham last year, and hopefully for them they won't see the same thing happen again.
Well, that's the chess game that comes into play in the Kansas plan is simply a matter of whether or not you want to go for 2 if both teams should score, and that's why it's so important to be the team that gets the ball second, and Gresham definitely has that break this time around.
Well, Central Catholic with the ball, and that's Olson in at quarterback, and it's a pitch and fumble, and now Gresham has the ball, I believe. Let's see, they have the ball. Oh no, what a lucky break for the Gophers. And Central Catholic fumbles it away on their first possession of the Kansas plan.
Well, I tell you, that's a big nail in the coffin, and of course Gresham now has to do something with it, and they will just a mix up here, and it looks like they give it up the middle to Lineweber, and Lineweber never really gets a handle on the ball, and it's down there, and Gresham is able to make the recovery.
And now the Gresham side trying to get the crowd pumped up here. 20-20 our score. Remember, the Gophers have 4 tries to make it in, and if they make it in, they are a winner.
Well, now they can get in anyway. They can kick the field goal, and of course the key thing here is Nielsen might have an opportunity to redeem himself here if they don't score in the first couple downs touchdown-wise. They might just go for the field goal on 3rd down.
We'll see what happens. And it's a pitch to Sandstrom, across the 10, down to the 9-yard line.
Of course, the thing they've got to be careful of as well is they don't want to try anything too fancy and fumble the ball themselves. They have to remember that they have to keep possession of the ball. And I would assume that Gary Stout's probably on the, if they don't score, probably on this down, that they will probably go for a field goal like on 3rd down. I mean, what that does for you when you go on 3rd down rather than the 4th down is it gives you an opportunity in case you should fumble the snap or something. It gives you another chance at it. And you don't put all your marbles into one down, and that. So there we see Gary Stouts talking to Jason Fellows, and here's a replay of that previous play where they pitch back to Sandstrom, and it's important that he hang on to that ball. Now he's swinging that ball out there, and he does actually bobble it when he goes to the ground a little bit, so he's got to be careful as well, because the same thing, of course, can happen to Gresham that just got done happening to Central Catholic, and that was a fumble.
Well, there you see the Gresham offensive unit. Jason Fellows, number 19, at the helm there. And I have a feeling we're going to see it going to Sandstrom again. What do you think, Jim?
Well, they're in their power I set right now. And I would imagine that they're just going to go for position as much as they would like to score right here. They're definitely going to probably go left in terms of position. They're going to take that ball and try to line it up right in front of the goalpost so that if they choose to go for the field goal on 3rd down, that they'll be lined up and Nielsen will have a clear shot at it. They're still having a problem with the folks in behind the goalpost, and they're going to have to move those people out of there before they can go ahead and continue on.
The Gresham sidelines in a kind of a solidarity kind of a gesture, all holding hands, the players and whatnot. And there you see the folks behind the goalpost. Well, here we go. High drama here. 20-20 our score. 2nd down and 9, overtime. Fellows off to Sandstrom and breaks a couple tackles. And he gets that for a touchdown and Gresham wins the ball game.
great individual effort by Sanders. Linebacker on the outside had enough momentum to carry himself into the end zone. So just a great run, outstanding effort by Sandstrom that time to
26-20 our score. And there you see Gresham cheerleaders and the team. And what a ball game.
Well, I don't think we could have asked for anything better, Eric, in terms of the type of ball game. Two quality teams, two very proud teams, teams that are just outstanding. We can't say enough. Defensively, ranked 1 and 2 in the conference. Offensively, ranked 1 and 3 in the conference. Undefeated in league play coming in. After the game was over, after the game was technically over, both teams still undefeated in league play. They were tied, and no question that these are two of the best teams that are around in the state as well, especially in the conference, but definitely in the state as well.
We're going to look at the replay of the final drive there by Sandstrom, who just gets through everybody, breaks a couple tackles, and falls into the end zone with the ball.
He does a great job of working his way to the outside, and of course it collapses down, the blocking collapses down, and he's able to slide to the outside, but just a fantastic effort by Sandstrom here, and of course that's their bread and butter, man. That's the guy that when he's around that goal line, he can smell it. You know that he's going to do everything he can to get over the goal line, and
Sure, we'll look at the replay one more time. There you see Sandstrom, and he fakes his way through.
Without question, one of the biggest plays of the year for Gresham, their team, their student body, and the entire community of Gresham, and it has to be just a tremendous win for Coach Gary Stouts. And we see him down with his family right now. He's down there and enjoying it, and everybody out on the field. And it's really unfortunate for Central because 2 overtime games in 2 weeks, and to lose both of them has to be really a frustrating situation. But the poise and the tremendous type of people that are involved in their program, I'm sure they're going to bounce back. And of course, they've got now, as we talked about scheduling-wise before, they've got a tough road to hoe. They've got to come back now and play David Douglas, which they have at home, and then they still have to play Columbia at Columbia and Barlow at Barlow. So they've got their work cut out. They really have 2 tough games left. Or actually 3 tough games left. All 3 of those teams are capable of getting in the playoffs. So, schedule-wise, Central has really now got their work cut out for them. And they had the less difficult teams early in the year, won all of those, and they haven't been able to get over that hump against a better team.
Well, there you see our score, 26-20.
And of course, that doesn't say the key thing. The key thing is that it's in overtime, and that was, just a tremendous effort by both teams. And Gresham, now on the other hand, has to be looking as a league favorite. They are undefeated, ranked 5th in the state coming into tonight's game, really behind all the way, or never ahead, let's say that, until the overtime. And finally in the overtime, they get the lead, and of course, that's the only time that it counts is when the game is over. So just a tremendous accolades should go out to Gresham, but also to Central Catholic. Both teams did an outstanding job. Both teams tremendous representatives of the Mount Hood Conference.
Well, we know we'll see both teams in the playoffs. I think that's probably going to happen. And I don't know, anything can happen like it did tonight. Right now we're going to take a break. Our final score, Gresham Gophers 26, Central Catholic Rams 20. We'll be back with more in just a minute. High school where the Gresham Gophers has defeated the Central Catholic Rams by a score of 26-20 in overtime. Ray Byers, what did you think of tonight's ball game? Was it everything you expected it to be?
And more. Just an incredible ball game. The emotion on the sidelines, the crowd. You can't ask for anything more from a football game. Everything, it's sad that somebody had to lose it, but that's the way these things have to end. But incredible football game. Just loved every minute of it.
You were down here on the field, and the way things were going flip-flopping kind of back and forth, did the crowd have a big part in this ball game for each side?
I'd say so. That you could see the players on the field, exhorting the crowd to help them out, and I think the fans definitely had a part to play in this game.
Okay, Jim, what do you think? Tonight, big victory for the Gophers. What's next?
Well, of course, they have the easier schedule going down the line, but, you've got to give tribute to both teams. As Ray said, neither team really deserved to lose this ball game, and what actually happened is Gresham went out and won it. They, as we mentioned earlier, they were never ahead in the ball game except in the overtime in the final score. And so 26-20, although there were a lot of points scored, I really feel that the defense controlled the ball game. And the number 1 and number 2 ranked defense in the league, they really showed that they're definitely deserving of those rankings tonight. And it was a seesaw battle, defense causing some situations where when the offense got field position, a number of times they were not able to counter, but they did finally break through. Both teams, Gresham and Central, able to do it. Neither one of the 2 running backs that were so heralded really had great statistical games, but they were definitely the keys in terms of controlling the defense, making the defense play them and stop them. And both Sandstrom and Jones may have been stopped to an extent tonight, but their contribution to the offense was really tremendous in that the defense keyed on both of those people. The other people that came through, you really got to credit Jason Fellows for the passing attack. He did a great job, especially on that last drive in regulation, to move the team down. Schulenberg came through at the end. They hadn't used him all night. They'd thrown 1 short pass, and at the clutch situations, he catches the ball at 2 things, and he also catches a touchdown pass. So he and Hamilton really did an excellent job receiving tonight. Fellows, great job passing. And the 2 lines, we weren't able to single out individuals a lot of times, but those 2 offensive and defensive lines were just outstanding. Those are class football teams, and this is what high school athletics is all about. And both teams, a big pat on the back from us at Rogers Cable TV, because we couldn't ask for a better ball game. We couldn't ask for a finer representation of youth in our schools today. So I think it was a great one.
Great ball game indeed. Next week we have for you Reynolds at Centennial, and it's going to be a good one too. We hope you see you there. For everybody at Rogers Cable TV, I'm Eric Gessner with Ray Byers and Jim Shealy, wishing you a pleasant good evening, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much, Gary Stouts.